Hi, I'm Johnny and you're watching the Hexy Beast. And on this video, we're going to be taking a look at the 5 reasons that solo gaming is better. One of the reasons I came up with this list is because there's an argument that keeps coming up in a lot of the Facebook groups over and over again, which is basically, why not just play a video game? Why do we bother solo gaming, etc, etc. So I've decided to make this little list video so that anybody who makes that argument in future, I can just paste the link and then they'll know exactly why I think that solo gaming is better. So, with that out of the way, let's get on with the intro and on to the first one on the list. Okay, I just want to say before I start that these are just some opinions that I jotted down on an old notepad that fell behind my desk months ago. It's quite dusty, it's quite old, it doesn't really mean much, it's just my personal opinions. Anyway, with that out of the way, shall we just get on to the first one on the list? Okay, so now we're going to get to the first one on the list. That's on this little rusty piece of paper that I found behind my desk. And the first one I've got is actually the fact that I can play anytime. Now, as you can see, this is definitely an advantage as a solo gamer. You don't really get this advantage when playing multiplayer because when you play multiplayer, you have to organize a group. You have to have like 3 or 4, maybe 5 people in the same place at the same time. Well, that is not a problem when you're solo gaming. If I want to play a game of Wingspan at 2 p.m, it's no problem. If I want to play another game of Star Realms with my breakfast, I can do that. If it's 2 a.m. in the morning, as many of you know, I'm a bit of an insomniac, especially if you've seen any of my Facebook posts, which are well outside my time zone. I can just play anything at like 2 o'clock in the morning because I don't sleep much. It's actually really useful for me to be able to have something to do in the time where I can't sleep because I can't really make much noise by watching films, playing video games, etc. So what I tend to do is I'll get a board game out and then it'll stay on my table overnight until I actually feel tired when I put the table away. So for that reason, that's my first reason that I think that solo gaming is better, is the fact that we can just play anytime we want to. Okay, so that brings us on to my number 2. So my second reason that I think solo gaming is just better is the fact that I can actually finish my campaigns. If you look behind me, you can see Descent, and there's no way I would get through that game if I had to rely on the wins of a group to actually be in the same place at the same time. So the fact that I can play solo means I get to finish my campaigns. It's also another reason I've managed to get over 160 plays into Journeys in Middle-earth. There's a lot of long games that I like to play, such as this War of Mine that can take all night, and if you're playing with multiple players, it can really extend the game time. As well as that, like I said, there's just plenty of campaign games out there that I'd actually get to finish because of the fact that I play solo. If I didn't play solo, it would become a problem. It would take me months to finish a lot of these games. But because I can set up and play multiple missions in a row and just get things done, get through the campaign, I can really absorb the story myself, make all the decisions myself. I'm not getting other people getting things wrong and fundamentally changing the way my campaign goes either. So for that reason, I have to say that finishing campaigns has to be the number 2 reason on my list of why I think solo gaming is better than multiplayer gaming. Anyway, let's get on to the next one. Okay, so what do you think my number 3 is? Well, looking at my list, what I've got is choosing what I play. Now this is a very important one because I feel that sometimes if you're playing with a game group, someone's favourite game might not always be your favourite game. It's one of the reasons that I think solo gaming is better. It's purely because everything in my collection is something I've curated. Even just choosing a game to play for me can be quite an entertaining activity that I can do for sometimes up to half hour. Because I'm just sat there looking at my shelf thinking, oh, I like all these. Which one do I want to play? Do I fancy dice? Do I fancy cards? Do I want campaign? Do I not want campaign? Do I want one-shots? It really is a big choosing thing. It's like choosing what you want to eat at a restaurant for me. So like for starters, I might choose Project L. Then we go on to the main course, which might be Mage Night. And then I'll probably finish up with something a little lighter like Sagrada for dessert. Do you know what I mean? So for that reason, I like being able to choose what I play. It really adds a bit of variety to the hobby, and that is my third reason why I think that solo gaming is better. Okay, so now on to reason number 4, and on my list I've written the 4th dimension. Okay, so I think time. Let's talk about time. Okay, this is one of the reasons why I think solo gaming is better than multiplayer gaming. The fact that I can spend my time anytime. There is no such thing as AP when it comes to solo gaming. If it takes me 15 minutes to take a turn, there's nobody to annoy. I'm not getting in the way of anybody else's good time. For me, that is one of the most important reasons for being a solo gamer. The fact that I can really take my time with anything. It also means that some shorter games, that even though it says 45 minutes on the box, there really is no problem if it takes me 3 hours to play it because I spend every half hour taking a break, making a coffee, having a snack. just coming back and forth to it to play a few turns is one of the good things about solitaire gaming that really is an advantage. I feel that I haven't got that pressure on me like I do in a group situation, where after about 30 seconds I'm just sat there staring at my cards going, I'm sorry I'm taking so long, I'm sorry I'm taking so long, I'm sorry. I'm not really thinking about my turn at that point. And for that reason I have to say that the fourth dimension of time is one of the reasons that solo gaming is better, because the fourth dimension doesn't really matter as a solo gamer. So anyway, let's get on to the next one. Okay, so that brings us on to my final reason, reason number 5, and that is kind of a product of all the other reasons, is that just getting more games played. Everyone talks about a shelf of shame or a shelf of opportunity. Well, truth of the matter is, I don't have one. The only thing on my shelf that is actually still a shrink wrap is a neoprene dice tray from Chip Theory. Everything else has been opened. So for me, the fact that I get all my games played means that nothing is a wasted investment. Every time I buy a game, I know that I'm getting the value out of it. Even if I only play it once, it does get played. It's never just a box in shrink on my shelf. I have had some use out of it. And for that reason, I think being a solo gamer and being able to get more things played, because I'm not relying on the whims of a group that actually chooses what's playing week by week. I can just play daily. I can just decide that I'm going to play this the day I buy it. I'm going to sit there, I'm going to open the rulebook, and then by the time I go to bed, the game has been played at least once, and thus means I no longer have a shelf of opportunity / shame, whatever you want to call it. And for that reason, I have to say that is probably the main reason I love solo gaming. That's the reason I left it to number 5 on the list, because the fact that I know that every game on this shelf has had some playtime, and that is a really big thing for me. I don't feel that I've wasted any of my money at all in this hobby, and is one of the main reasons I absolutely love this hobby. So that was my 5th reason for solo gaming being better than multiplayer gaming. Okay, so that just about brings us to the end of my video, which is 5 reasons that I prefer solo gaming. Anyway, if you like the look of any of the games I've been talking about today, or just see a box on my shelf you like the look of, please feel free to check out the link to Firestorm Games in my description. Also, if you've been enjoying the content, please feel free to smash that subscribe button below there, and check out another one of my videos by here. Anyway, I've been Johnny, you've been watching the Hexy Beast, thank you for watching, and most of all, stay Hexy everyone! Yeah, I dropped my notebook.